I don't even know what to play. It's like every single tribe I do was. Disavow. Disavow. It's like, oh, I'm in retirement, so grammar is irrelevant, and I can call everything Lego game cringe bullshit. It's like, dude, shut the frick up. Nobody cares if you think this is a Lego game and everything here is cringe. Like, just shut up and go piss off. All right. I've never seen this before. If these two guys and these two guys on the right and left, like, what is this, the jury? So the jury sits typically there. Tribunal. Only the ones here. I think I know what a tribunal is. I just want to make sure. A court of justice. So what, do they have a head tribunal? What kind of a... I see what... Okay, well... The judicial tribunal, I suppose, is basically... all 5 of them decide shit, so... Well, that's fun. What the hell are they doing again? 2 counts of conspiracy to commit treason, 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of violating the Internal Strife Act, 2 counts of violating the Domestic Affiliations Act. What are these guys doing? No, I'd rather die. Nice to know. That's fantastic. That's fun. Nobody's in the VSC, so this is barely organized. Thank you, Mr. Richtarian. Everyone here is a freaking Richtarian. Oh, man. I mean, that's what happens when you have your dynasty, and it is also a people, which is also an ideology called Richterism. You just have all this big lump of shit. Well, not lump of shit, but... a big lump of different entities and descriptions. So what do we got here? We have... Oh, Werewolf was also a sentinel guy, I suppose. Wants to join his fellow comrades. They had 8, now they have 7, unless one of them sat down next to staking. They have no idea what they're doing. The entire Sentinel Guard is on trial. I find that quite hilarious, but it's not surprising. Considering... Oh, there we go. Prepare another song until this one breaks down. All the charges had been taken in execution. That's spectacular. The guy that they murdered is prosecuting them. Oh my god, he's alive. This sucks. You and that water gun. Salim is one of them. Yeah, we just wait like 15 minutes for this commands to... we got one of them. I have zero idea. I wonder if the guys that were flying everyone around the spoil lost. I don't think they are, but I'm just curious. Yeah, they weren't. Old Kathleen was. Next year's, I have no idea who that is. I'll keep him because I don't know. Robert, you better hope he's banning him. Chasing him down. If you're really firing at the crowd, you'd have to have evidence at that point. There we go. Okay, I was afraid he was gonna like fire into the entire crowd and just murder everyone. I mean, at this point, the most smartest thing to do is just ban them. The guns are there if they ever glitch in and somehow get past the barrier. But if you're going to remove some of them, just use admin. See, with this game, it's like you want to be immersive, you want to do things without using admin. Like, if I ever could, I would get rid of admin entirely and just use the police to, like, get rid of people. I guess they do it in Rome. But the issue with this game, if not this entire platform, is people that try to sabotage shit, it's like they have an advantage in this game. It's not like Gmod, or it's not like any other game where, or it's not like real life either, where you can just kill someone, remove them, whatever when there's an issue. Because unfortunately, your Roblox, it's almost entirely player side when it comes to movement. If I move off the chair, it will show for everyone else in like 2 seconds. So if I didn't have an invisible wall and someone from like there would move up to sabotage shit, you know, by the time people react to fire at them, they'd already be at the podium, if not farther up. And that's the issue with this game, is reflexes. It's not people's fault, it's just the fact that this game is just shit. No offense to Roblox, but mechanics are shit. That being said, it's what is going on again? I've completely on S-lock off. What's this guy? Okay. He's famous now. Join logs. Yeah, they're literally trying to get into the game by spamming these ults. Polish is here. Alert's terrain is joined. Jojo is good. We'll keep it up for like 30 seconds. Glumbles. Mr. Glumbles. Who the frick is that? Norwegian Realm. Okay. That's so if someone starts exploiting, we know it's one of those two. Watch Club. I'm just gonna track all. What the frick was that? There was an exploiter? Did they have like a plant in game and they just waited till the trial was active to execute it? What exactly? I mean, these guys are literally retarded. These guys are being accused of treason and they're trying to sabotage the guys accused of treason. I mean, if anything, they're just benefiting me with the assumption that we're correct because the state is accusing these guys of treason. And they're trying to sabotage their trial, which makes no sense to me. And Cloud, I spoke to Cloud as a result of like his chaotic actions, and he's just like, oh, you know, I don't really care. Even if there's an entire coalition, I'll just fight everyone. He's retarded because I'm just like, okay, well, let me just tell everyone else that. And so if I, for instance, if I talk to the Britons and I'm like, yeah, Cloud Backup does this, and they're like, oh, I don't care. I'm like, well, Cloud said that if we fight, for instance, and if it affects you, he won't care. And they will give me anti-exploits, they'll give me any resources I need. And boom, I have more manpower. Just by doing that, I have more people on my side. And I think Cloud is so diehard against fighting me, they just want to compromise on anything. That he has this weird illusion that he cannot compromise at all on any measure. That if he does, he's like lost. I've won, you know. And a lot of people that oppose me have that mindset. It's not surprising. That's typically what, how he is. that a threat? Is this guy retarded? How do you serve 2 dynasties at once? Oh, I see what Ramses is doing. Ramses is basically manipulating Walter into joining him. Because Ramses is like this freaking Littlefinger figure that thinks he can just... His own division hates him. Hashtag. It's like most people that hate me are like immature children. I mean, they've yet to call me the wrangler of children when 90% of the shit opposition says is like shit a child would say. I mean, they've yet to say that I wrangle children when their entire player base and maturity and mentality is that of a child. Using team chat to speak, which I don't have an issue with. It's not affecting the entire core because the core is still functioning. Oh, he is scared to expose his ass or IP log him. Yeah, guys, the entire YouTube channel, I'm gonna IP log Walter. After all this time is more voted Rome anyway, so no harm. I really don't give a shit. If you become a Resturian, you're a Resturian. You don't betray my name, you don't change your name, that is on your honor. At the court. These retards want to, well, not retards, but these people want to join. But every time I unserver lock, it's like guaranteed. Well, he has admin, doesn't he? Yeah. Okay, so. I mean, here's the thing. I think Cloud runs like a bot thing, where constantly, all day, he'll just sit there as his bots try to join the game until we un-S-lock, and it does his damage, which is quite pathetic. The only thing he has achieved is he has been more devoted than any other anti-ritualist in this community. Other than that, he's done nothing. We're still having events. We've lasted a month, if not more than a month already. If you even include, because he started doing this shit since the Richter Dynasty was active on the Alps game, and even then we were active. So if you include since then, barely month and a half, we've been still alive and active. He's affected nothing. He's done the usual exploits, but it's affected nothing. So what? The game was affected. We're still active, we're still thriving, we're still rallying, we're still doing what we're doing. And, honestly, all he's done is wasted his time. That's all he's going to do anyway. He cares for the attention, but yet he's received little anything. You'll ask any anti-Richter, and they're like, oh, I have little idea who that is. Like, maybe he exploits the games, but no one gives a shit at the end of the day about him or his relevancy, which is kind of sad. You know, they'd hopefully look at him like this martyr that he's done something, but they're all like, oh, who gives a shit? I like the commentary aspects of these things. They're quite fun. He could have said it a long time ago, but he never told me why he didn't want to return a name. I have been discriminated against by people for having a Styrian name. Thus, I'm just becoming back by it still. Request denied. One. Next time, speak proper English if you're gonna. What's exile sign? I have no idea what's going on. What the hell is Korea doing? Huh. Oh shit, he said I wasn't actually asking. Oh my god, auto win. Auto win. Request denied, go brr. Could you unlock it briefly? See, it's these two joined and nobody else. We'll see what happens. I love doing this. People will be like, well, and I'll be like, dude, nobody gives a shit. We're all at a core game. Like, deal with this later. And I'm like, well, you know, everyone isn't actually at that game because there's this many people here, so. And I'm just like, dude, once again, if you didn't read what I was saying, you don't really give a shit. And they're like, well, technically, your statement is wrong. Not everyone is there. No, it's like. Okay, fine, you're right. Everyone that I consider relevant is actually not at Paris. And then it's like, what do I say now? What do I say now? It's like, from the get-go, you failed because you tried to, like, I don't know, I don't know why people waste their time trying to, like, sound more right than me. It's like, well, technically, not everyone is at that game, so listen to me. It's like, if you want me to listen to you, then maybe not act like an asshole and be like, well, technically not everyone is there. The logic of some people is just ridiculous. I have been fine. Yourself. The reason why I shitted on Roship earlier is because it's just like, for some people, being retired means you have, like, retirement privilege. Like, oh my god, Alec doesn't have power over me. Oh my god, I'm going to be as unprofessional as possible. And I'm just like, why should I grant you retirement? And they're like, well, you can't do that. I'm retired. And this is on very rare occasion. Like, I remember I was talking to Raj about Octavia and showing him, or I remember sending him some screenshots before Octavia, and he was like, I don't play Roblox anymore, so I don't care. And it's like, okay, I didn't ask if you played Roblox or cared. I'm sending you it to show you what's going on currently. Later on, he did admit, like, oh, I miss Octavia, I miss Roblox, but at the same time, like, you're gonna be an asshole to me just because you're retired? Like, really? Like, piss off. Might as well just ban you at that point. What's even going on anymore? Not spectacular. Sam took a freaking break. I guess that's good for him. Going well, as usual. And listen here, Andrew, this is the introduction to brainwashing indoctrination. Send them countless images of propaganda, and they will certainly, just certainly, be coerced into joining. There's a lot of waiting. I never realized. What the frick is he talking about? Is a lot of waiting? What are you, a waitress? Did he just become a waitress? And he's like, I didn't realize how much time there is to actually waiting. Well, yeah, because Oswald is like a freaking grandpa when it comes to organization, as I said on the last rally. The commentary was cut because in the middle of the rally, my power went out, and I had to like restart everything and rejoin it. I had a commentary that was like, wasn't shitting on Oswald, but the fact that it was taking so long was getting annoying. What the frick are they doing? Why are they saying calm down? This is what happens when you remove me from Gendarmerie. I've never even heard of this guy. And he's going about how, like, what, they're not even doing anything wrong. They've been quite competent right now. Richard has a good point, so what's his point then? I have no clue what's been going. Hey, everyone is talking on team. No one really cares though. This has nothing to do with Mr. Lowdown, does it? Or does it? I think it does. One screenshot. I suppose. Did you make that weird speech? Because people ask me that, like, oh, I have no idea who that guy is that's speaking, and I have no idea who that guy is, even though it says Alexander, and even though, like, that's the same voice I hear in the voice chat and on YouTube and everywhere else, I'm gonna make him look like an idiot by asking him if that's the retard speaking in game. It's like, I'm not a retard. I know you know it's me, and you're just trying to make it look like it's not me, so you can make you look stupid. I'm just gonna say nope, just to screw with him. I'm gonna see what he responds, and then it's like, error 137. Oh my god, he didn't say yes. What do I do? Should we call him a liar and expose him to the public? What should we do? Should I just say, who is it then, to trap him? I'll just say, I don't know. I'll just say it just spawned in. Devs did it, I suppose. I have no idea. I have no idea who that guy is in game. Don't count on it. Oswald is a good man. Me and him never really got too along. Devout with my PC problem. I still respect him, including you, no matter how old I get. I'll never lose respect for you. Alright, you know what? Fine. I take back what I say about Raship. I take it back. Ah. That is a spectacular steak. And, frick. I'm not, on server locking for El YOLO. El YOLO. I can't speak for shit these days. Frickin' Joe Biden ass is falling apart. I don't know who's still here. I know Oswald. Ah, he's right next to me. I don't think progressing your little kid's game, that's a major logical leap. It says the guy that literally called based earlier. These guys will criticize me for not promoting cross-dressing, but they won't criticize every women group in existence. They won't criticize every roleplay community in existence, or at least most roleplay communities anyway that I know of that do not allow cross-dressing. And they won't criticize literally like, I don't freaking know. I mean, you get the point. From graphy. Prone graphy. I suppose. Back soon, surprised I guess in about a month. If you can sustain Octavia, in which I have no doubt about your ability. Sweet! You should probably ping for the court. The court's S-locked, there's no point in pinging for a court that you can't even join. You will wonder why I have absolute issues with people these days, and it's just like, some things, I mean, I might find it as common sense, for others, it's like, totally oblivious to the truth. Science supports the idea of gender dysphoria. It's exactly what I mean. Being a legitimate disorder. However somebody chooses to remedy a disorder that isn't up for you to control. Yes. Yes. I'm going to treat them just like I treat other mentally ill people. Like, what? We're the exception. They're not the Mongols. I mean, as much as they act like them. They're not the Mongols. They're not the exception to a mental disorder. And people do actually regret, like, when you cut off your freaking male appendage and running around trying to do whatever, it's like, you kind of realize you can't really piss, and everything that was regarded as normality is totally removed from society. If not your life, really. Not just from your view of society, but from your entire life once you behave like a degenerate. If it's a positive change for a few, then it is a good remedy. Which, it is not a positive change for a few. I'm quite sure the suicide rate for those people is like 60%, if not lower or higher. It's definitely not a safe rate, though. I know that to given the fact. Mental disorders will typically want you to pursue one thing, which in reality actually harms you more. For instance, I know bipolar people will typically betray someone because their mind told them to, but in reality it betrays, rather it disturbs them in reality. And the same applies to many other things, for many other disorders, and it is an illusion that later leads down a rabbit hole because you eventually realize what you've done, and after reflecting on it, you eventually just regret everything. The same would be applied to trans people. In regards to, like, cutting off your male appendage because you feel like you're a woman, when in reality it's your mind telling you that you are when you actually aren't. And natural law, therefore, is not abided by because natural law is ignored and literally just decimated. You just take a hammer and just decimate the idea of natural law. Whatever happened to naturality? Oh, animals are gay. No, retard. Rats don't have gender, so they have an excuse to be gay. On the other hand, I mean, fish, frick, do fish have appendages? Like, it's common sense. Okay, it's not like they're intentionally gay. I've heard the bear story. It's like, frick, those are animals in the first place, too. Why does that matter? They're not building up civilizations. We're building up civilizations. Culture and collectivism matters more than anything to us. Animals typically are individualistic unless you're like a wolf, but I'm not here to debate politics. I'm just here to give commentary because why not? Why not give commentary? I mean, I never really do. The idea of doing so sounds appealing, so here I am. I'd like to request a 5-minute recess You should return to 842 just to make this more boring than it already is. Let's just fricking go and do nothing for 5 minutes. If they're gonna judge each card individually, oh my. Thank God Stake is representing them. Here's this one, context DMs. PM con check DMs. After all, you have proof you can gain your role in the community, but not leading it. You should take the lead in restoring the lost values. It is completely. So they. I mean, I honestly think that people like this guy are just trying to. They know that's me. They just try to ask me that for shits and giggles. But hypothetically, if he out of nowhere just thought it was great to insult the speech making that was absolutely beautiful that I made. After all, you have proof you can gain your role in the community. Like, there he is, you know. I guess sucking me up. That'd be funny though. One thing they call me weird, another thing he also calls me gaining my role in this community but not leading it. Imagine if I went to every leader that identifies as neutral and I just showed their DMs of how they like praised me in my works. Like that would that would not be good, but it would prove a very good point to the anti-Richter's. People say, "Oh, you're the most hated person in the world." It's like, really? Because I have a document right here with over 50 people that lead groups that are relevant too, for that matter, including Lewis, Lavo, Zophiel, Nerfer, John, not John, Cab, so on and so forth, down the road of 40 other people that don't believe in the rumors, don't believe in this line, don't believe in the claims, and at some capacity support me, or is neutral on the matter of me. Or in other words, they don't believe I'm a bad person. So, you know, when you have that list of that many people, it's like, am I really controversial? Because if I was, I would have like a full-scale, you know, situation. But even the people that I'm at war with, like Lancaster, for instance, I've done a podcast with him. He doesn't hate me. I know him almost personally. He lives a couple hours away from me in Ohio, so not surprising. Do you want to see the last screenshots of the Germania city? I mean, I really don't know if I want to, but I'm going to say yes because that is what we call being a decent human being. So I'm going to pretend that, you know, plus it might be interesting. I mean, you never know these days with some shit. It's like, oh, what's this? I might actually be interested, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't care at maximum capacity. I'm way too honest to be doing politics. Honestly, why am I this honest? I mean, screw it. It's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Facts don't care about your feelings. They're accusing these guys of being Democrats, or liberals for that matter. Perhaps. Frick. I feel like if I didn't have access to the internet, if we all didn't have access to the internet, I think we'd be much better off as a society. I mean, shit. Reenacting in real life would be more productive. Trial is back in session. Bum, 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 bum. Right now, you're using it to live out your cricket's fantasies that would otherwise get you outside from society. And you certainly benefit from freedom. Because with the internet at people's access, to be fair, it's like the internet exists, right? The most funnest thing you could possibly do for us, for our perception, is this. Okay. That's my opinion. So yeah, I mean, we're using the internet to do this, which you could say is freedom, but if the internet exists in the first place, we wouldn't be in the dilemma of having, like, nothing to do. In my opinion. You'll be more open to doing things in real life, I suppose. Paralycus, you have been placed in contempt of court. Oh. That's spectacular. Like, holy shit, someone copied my account. I mean, sure, it's good to note that down, so if someone does something that wasn't actually me, I could say, oh, well, this is that person trying to make, you know. At the same time, it's like, I don't need to be reminded about it. You want a link, sir? Oh, I'm just gonna click a link. Yeah, sure. Oh, I know what you're talking about. There is an account there. I thought he meant Discord account. What the frick happened? We got shot. Someone got straight executed. Why don't you live in the moment? Because I have nothing to do in the moment. I've done most of my work in real life already. In regards to, what's my relevant stuff? These are our latest icons. I'm getting some DDR vibes from that. Cool. 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 Like I said, there are stuff that I like seeing. At the same time, it's like, I don't mind it. And it depends on the mood, I guess you could say. What did Para even do? What did Dylan do this time? I can't breathe. I can't. He said that 4 times. Gosh damn it. Sim, I'm suing an armory. You angry that we said your officer has autism. A geek. Are they calling us geeks? Is that even accurate? It's fantastical. It's niche. It's esoteric. It's unreal. To say that we're geeks because we're professional in game just... Like, holy shit. The last time I checked, we don't have a freaking history book of everything that we've done with a super highly focused lore. Like, now originally we were working on a lore that led up to different groups, but at this point we just don't care. Like, before we're gonna have a lore that defined what happened to TRI and Octavia, like, well, not Octavia, but everything before. When we did Korea, there was no logical explanation for how we go from Roman Empire to being Kim Jong-un's favorite cousin. So we just forgot the whole lore thing and then just went on. If we had a lore and they had this highly intense focus of shit, then yeah, fair point, but... Yeah, we're not a member of a freaking geekdom. They might as well call the Republican Party a bunch of geeks at this point. Because that's, I don't know. These are not geeks. This is the same game you're playing, the same mentality, we're just playing it professionally. That's how I see it. It's how people used to see it. Frick, imagine calling Lewis and his cult a bunch of geeks because they want to take over the northwestern United States of America. And that's not what we're doing, but they're a more extreme, quote-unquote professional example of what we're doing. Oh. I think Richard is memeing with this guy. There is no practicing not socialism. in most of the world, my friend. Did this guy just call us Nazis? We tend to also joke around about how we have an actual IRL movement called... Oh, we go move around. We used to say, oh yes, we have an IRL tourist movement. And it's like... With some people, they already know we're bullshitting. So then we're like, oh yes, we have an actual America First movement that we formed in real life. And they're like, oh shit. And it's like, no. We're messing with you at that point. I've been ordered to be quiet, so I'll speak to you about this afterwards. I very much like that idea. He's probably the same person that would call us a cult, but he also enjoys the idea of people being silenced for specific ideas. Those are our latest icons. That's the map. So we have... It looks very familiar. The dome and everything does anyway. That doesn't look familiar, that's original. But it looks like Roman architecture. And the other issue is it's way too big. If you had 20 people on this map, it would die immediately because it's too big to be seen as crowded and active. It's a good map, like holy shit, that's quality. But it's not, like, if anything, it's like a freaking art project. And that's how most people make groups these days, they're more like art projects. They put all these efforts into ranks and maps and shit, and then nothing happens. It just sits there, and it's like an art project. They go there and do nothing. There's no active community at that point, which I find pointless. If no one is actually active in the group, then why call it successful? Oh, I sure am. I fear his group will be cancer to raid. I'm gonna pretend not like anymore. Maybe we can say stuff. Sweet. Just make sure you do it before... I didn't make the server, so that's not my fault. What is his fault is the fact that I'm going to meet his server for infinite. Because now I can't get pinged. I'm seeing you probably already reported me. I also know who all signed. He knew. Oh, okay. I thought that was Kong literally saying that he knew who the I members were. I'm like, wait a second. Hold up. That's treason. But he's quoting Steak, if I'm not mistaken. He's quoting somebody. Oh, Pharaoh. Or Zen. What the frick were they talking about? Zen Mobius. Pharaoh. I mean, IO2 even told them off about the KOS. I see. I'm not the judge, so I don't need to really care. I'm just here to make a decision, because eventually they're going to rally us in the room, and they're going to say, okay, this is what's going on, this is the sentence, I want all your opinions. And I sit there, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what should actually happen, because, well, shit. I'm the supreme, well, there's the judge, and there's the supreme judge, which is basically me. Or Parsifal. I guess Parsifal somehow organized this shit, too, so I guess he can be supreme judge number 2 as well. I didn't even know Zen knew who IO2 is until yesterday. I don't care if they know who the director is or the deputy director, because that's kind of harder to hide. But if they know who anyone else is that's an I member, there's no way they should know that. And if they do, keep your mouth shut at that point. Did Scuba buy the army pants to wear with the Sentinel Guardian? Yes, he did. That's an interesting selection. I've got no idea. When it comes to being banned, It usually depends on the architecture, webbing, hats, group name, etc. Mighty DDR was banned, I think, for being a German group set in the 40s and by claiming itself socialist, which could be confused with being a Nat-Soc group. So I think all those factors had a big play. But things like decals, things like flags, to an extent, things like audios, people, what people say in game does not affect if a game gets banned or not. For instance, if I upload an audio and it doesn't get banned, it's like Horde Touch Alive, gets played in game, the game would not be at fault, audio would be at fault. Same thing with decals, same thing with a lot of other things. Um, if you have a morph, like an in-game item that the studio was built, like if you built something in a studio, or insert something in the studio that was, however, like created by you or the game itself or whatever, and then you are at fault. Or if the actual group, like the name and the description, corresponds to something of hate speech, then fair point. Opinion on the map results. Extremely large. It's a good piece of art. In regards to activity, I fear it won't be active. Man, who put caffeine in my freaking drink? Energy levels are bouncing off the walls, literally. The last two trials were intentionally supposed to be very comical and shitty because, like, frick, a 12-year-old apparently harassed a 16-year-old turning I don't know, 16, 17-year-old. Like, I think she's 17 actually. But anyways, it's just like so dumb, you know, like. That's why I would take that one not seriously. Had Bug not actually showed up, he would have actually gotten exiled because he would have actually been evading the core. But he showed up, so he didn't get exiled. The one before that, I don't know why it was such a chaotic trial. But, yeah, not surprising. Results were expected. Octavia prevails. Indeed it does. And he deleted. I'm gonna let the moderators deal with that. Heil Franco. What the frick? When was my name Franco? Alright, gentlemen. Team meet court. Are they in the VC? They're not. How do these guys organize their shit? This is a tribunal-only discussion, sir. I think everyone here is Tribunal Plus. Otherwise, I have no freaking idea. They in a group chat. Scooch me in Polish? No. Alright, we're done now? Okay. Right, guess looks like we're done now. Grand Chancellor. That exists? What the frick is a Grand Chancellor? Well, it's definitely not him. Grand Chancellor is. Thank God. Yeah, of all people that matter in this trial, I'm like the most irrelevant person in existence. Like, about time I've been added to this group
Yeah,
chat.
no, I was like, wait, why isn't Alec here?
Yeah, I should have said that like an hour ago.
Well, I wasn't here an hour ago, like during half. Oh god, what was that?
Someone got
no.
hit by a train, it seems.
Yeah,
Anyways.
If you just read
Yeah,
up.
I was wondering why we were in there saying nothing. I'm sitting there like, I'm just not gonna speak because this is funny as hell. Everyone's just sitting there saying nothing. Like, okay.
Oh, shit.
Everyone's sitting there saying nothing, just nod their heads in agreement, walk out.
Yeah.
It's been predetermined.
That actually happened before during a trial, but I said something and they all started talking. But
No one was saying anything, and everyone's just sitting there.
pretty much, yeah. For the first 5 minutes, nothing was being said, and I'm like, okay, so what's the plan, gentlemen? And they're like, well, I don't know. I guess he's guilty. I'm like, yeah, I guess he's guilty too. What are we doing? Like, frick, make a decision.
I loved yesterday's court.
Oh God, yeah, I've won Mrs. Oswald already. We hated
no,
Oswald. Now we miss him.
No. Everyone just decided to be like, alright, so we're saying Bug's innocent, but Alfred's guilty, right? Everyone's like, yep, alright, let's go.
And then he got banned. But the only issue with yesterday's trial is it was way too rambunctious. Like, there was nukes going off, explosions, the freaking seats
The
were
thermal
flying.
command.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
what
ammo
went on?
commands were unnecessary.
What about the one on Friday night with the disco?
Okay, then victory.
Yeah, well, that was funny, but like, if we're gonna do that, let's try not to make the court like everyone was being chaotic. That's the thing. It would be more funny if it was like unexpected. Like, everyone's so serious, and all of a sudden Oswald pops up, and it's like they expect a serious speech, and it's like this donkey bullshit. That's funny, but it's not as funny when everyone knows what's gonna happen. Everyone kind of expected it. It was still funny, and my favorite part was when Oswald was like, he played the victory march, and he's like, game! Octavian victory! And I thought that was hilarious, but... Oh, yeah. It really does not feel like Sunday. It feels like Saturday.
I don't want to go to school tomorrow.
Okay, let's see. What else were we gonna talk about? I believe. Oh yeah, right.
Oswald pinned his message, so it makes it easier to find.
Jack L. Richter. Is Jack L. Richter even like active?
He's been on. I've seen him a few times throughout this week.
Yeah, Polish, when you got angry at the guard, I was sitting there with popcorn. I'm like, oh, how can we make Polish more angry and see what he does?
I just don't tolerate this type of shit. You wanna know why? Because A, it's my overseen division, and B, the Stake's first reasoning was because the church told him to. and that's my religion. Those two things, if something's going wrong, especially combined, will piss me off.
Okay. I believe that's all. So, anyone have anything else to add?
Why did Dream say Octavian Victory?
Octavian victory. Oh God. Silence.
I don't think he wants to piss off Valerian and Robert right now. They haven't been putting up with anyone close.
Well,
I
we
mean,
already
it's
have someone.
something I have an MP40 at my side, so
We already
I
have
thought it was
someone in
covered.
contempt of court. So,
I don't know about y'all, but Doritos really do be slapping.
That's Dante. Is this cap only for my enlisted and non-commissioned? He's gonna have like 50 officers.
All members of the guard. That's something I asked Lava. I'm like, now this include me and my officers, or does this include everyone? Lava was like, well, it includes everyone except you and those above you. I'm like, oh, great. One extra slot then. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like,
Oh no, Alec, I remember. It was like he's like, okay, so we're gonna give you an extra 50 members before phase 2, and then he's like, oh yeah, phase 2 is just gonna give you like an extra 20 members, not unlimited cap, and we're just like,
yup.
you don't
True
want to
time.
use our like whole entire thing. You don't want to use our whole potential. And he's like, no, because you're probably gonna abandon us for your future project. Honestly, he would have won
Damn.
every
Oh
raid.
no.
Okay. Oswald, you can shut it down. No, oh,
Octavian
God.
victory.
What a mess.
Something.
I gotta play the
No.
victory march. Hold on. I
You
gotta
know-
find it. Yes. Touchdown.
These really taste like nachos, though.
So Steak's still being in.
I don't know what is going on with Steak. Is he on probation now, or what's going on? Is Steak on probation, or what's the plan?
No, he's still going to be leading the guard, but he's going to be severely restricted in what he can do for a month period.
Okay,
And
let
who will
me.
decide that?
Oswald is being put in control of deciding what members he's going to be losing for that month period, and Polish will be watching over him for that month period.
I have been watching over him, and will keep watching over him. Let me just go accept him into the group again.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Is there a soccer community, aka European football community, for Roblox?
There used to be.
Oh
a
yeah, I'm
really
sure
big
there's
one
multiple, I'm
at
pretty
one
sure.
time.
There's
Why
forever
don't you
sports.
participate?
Probably 4 years ago when I used to
We
be
can
heavily
literally
involved.
stage the freaking Olympics and make it so that we win if we lose. We need to get our own Octavian football team, and that's literally all we're gonna do.
I think. Well, I mean,
You know what? Why don't we organize that with the other World War II groups?
I don't know how many would agree to it, but it's. I mean, as long as you have enough events, you might be able to get some kind of commitment.
I mean, sure. I mean, frick, I'm just high. Sorry, I'm bored right now, so I have no idea.
I would also
I'm doing-
recommend auto racing.